The eternal twilight of New Horizons scrapyard stretched endlessly before Maya Chen as she navigated her way through canyons of discarded starships. The dying red dwarf that served as the planet's sun cast long shadows across the mechanical graveyard, painting everything in shades of rust and blood. Her boots crunched against fragments of metal and crystalline circuitry with each step, the sound echoing through the hollow hulls of forgotten vessels. Maya adjusted her atmospheric filter mask, watching as her breath created small clouds of condensation against the transparent material. The scanner in her left hand pulsed steadily, seeking out valuable salvage amid the mountains of debris. After 15 years of scrapping, she'd learned to trust her instincts more than any piece of equipment, but today something felt different. The readings were unlike anything she'd seen before. The signal had appeared 3 days ago, a faint energy signature that didn't match any known reactor type. Most salvage hunters would have ignored it, assuming their equipment was malfunctioning. But Maya hadn't survived this long by ignoring anomalies. She'd spent those 3 days triangulating the signal's location, meticulously mapping her way through the treacherous landscape of twisted metal and unstable ground. A gust of wind howled through the graveyard, carrying with it the metallic tang that permeated everything on New Horizon. Maya paused, bracing herself against a fallen support beam as she consulted her holomap. The signal was stronger now, emanating from somewhere beneath a collapsed hangar ahead. As she approached, her scanner's steady pulse became an urgent rhythm. The hangar had partially collapsed decades ago, its massive doors frozen half open like the maw of some mechanical beast. Maya activated her suit's lighting system, the bright beam cutting through years of accumulated dust. Something gleamed in the darkness beyond, something that didn't match the corroded surfaces surrounding it. Maya squeezed through the gap, her reinforced environment suit scraping against the edges. Inside, the hangar was a cathedral of shadows, its ceiling lost in the gloom above. But it wasn't the size of the structure that made her breath catch in her throat. It was what lay at its center. The ship was unlike anything she'd ever encountered. Where most vessels followed utilitarian designs dictated by physics and function, this one seemed to flow like liquid metal frozen in time. Its hull was covered in patterns that might have been decorative or might have been writing. Maya couldn't tell. But what truly set it apart was its condition. While everything else in the graveyard showed the ravages of time and exposure, this ship appeared almost pristine, as though it had been waiting here for someone to find it. "What are you?" Maya whispered, her words swallowed by the vastness of the hangar. She approached cautiously, her scanner now emitting a continuous tone. The ship was approximately 40 meters long, its design suggesting it was built for speed and maneuverability rather than cargo or combat. As she drew closer, she noticed something else. The hull seemed to ripple slightly, like the surface of a pond disturbed by a gentle breeze. Maya had heard stories of ships with biomechanical components, vessels that were as much alive as they were machine. But those were just stories, tales told by salvage hunters who'd spent too much time breathing recycled air. This was real. She reached out, her gloved hand hovering just above the hull's surface. The material seemed to respond to her proximity, the rippling effect intensifying slightly. Taking a deep breath, Maya pressed her palm against the ship. A subtle vibration traveled up her arm, and for a moment she could have sworn she felt a pulse, like a heartbeat. The scanner in her other hand suddenly sparked and went dark. Maya jumped back, but nothing else happened. The ship remained silent and still, though the rippling effect continued. She pulled out her backup scanner, but it too failed to function within a few meters of the vessel. Whatever energy field the ship was generating, it didn't play well with standard technology. Maya spent the next several hours documenting everything she could about the ship using old-fashioned methods, sketches, notes, and careful observations. The more she studied it, the more convinced she became that this wasn't just another piece of salvage. This was something revolutionary, something that could change everything. As the light outside the hangar began to fade, signaling the approach of New Horizons' long night, Maya knew she had to make a decision. Protocol dictated that she should report this find to the salvage authority. They would quarantine the area, bring in their experts, and she would receive a finder's fee, probably enough to retire comfortably on any civilized world. But Maya had spent her entire life watching bureaucrats and corporations take control of discoveries made by people like her, burying them in red tape or exploiting them for profit. This ship was different. It needed to be understood, not dissected or weaponized. She began unpacking her portable workshop, setting up lights and basic diagnostic equipment at a safe distance from the ship's interference field. The standard salvage crews wouldn't be in this sector for at least 3 standard months. That gave her time to study the vessel, to try to understand its secrets before anyone else discovered it. As she worked, Maya couldn't shake the feeling that she wasn't just examining the ship, it was examining her too. The rippling patterns in its hull seemed to follow her movements, and occasionally she caught glimpses of lights flickering deep within its structure, like neural impulses traveling through an alien brain. "Let's get to know each other," she said softly, settling in for what would surely be the first of many long nights. She had no way of knowing that at that moment, several light years away, multiple automated systems were registering the ship's reactivation, sending silent alerts to individuals and organizations who had spent centuries ensuring vessels like this remained lost. The race to understand the ship's secrets had begun, and Maya Chen had just placed herself at the center of a mystery that would reshape her understanding of not just technology, but life itself. 3 weeks of work had transformed the abandoned hangar into a makeshift laboratory. Maya had strung portable lights across the ceiling, their glow reflecting off the ship's still rippling hull. Scattered around the space were diagnostic tools, power cells, and the countless components she'd salvaged from other wrecks. Sleep had become a luxury, grabbed in short bursts between experiments and observations. The ship continued to defy conventional analysis. Every scanner she tried had either malfunctioned or provided contradictory readings. She'd resorted to more primitive methods: direct observation, mechanical tests, and careful documentation of the vessel's reactions to various stimuli. The hull's strange rippling effect had intensified over time, as though the ship were gradually awakening from a long hibernation. Maya sat cross-legged on her workbench, reviewing her notes projected in holographic form before her. She discovered that the ship's hull responded to physical contact, the ripples following the path of her touch like waves in a pond. More intriguingly, the responses had grown stronger and more complex over time. Sometimes, she could swear the patterns were trying to form themselves into recognizable shapes. "You're trying to communicate, aren't you?" she murmured, approaching the ship's main access port, or what she assumed was an access port. The circular indentation in the hull bore similarities to standard airlock designs, but its mechanisms were unlike anything in her extensive database of spacecraft schematics. Maya pressed her palm against the port's surface, feeling the now familiar vibration. But this time, something was different. The ripples in the hull began to synchronize, forming concentric circles that spread out from her hand. A low hum filled the air, more felt than heard, and the port's surface became liquid beneath her touch. She jerked her hand back, but it was too late. The ship's hull had already formed a connection with her suit's systems. Information flooded her helmet's display. Streams of data in an unknown language, diagrams of impossible technologies, and patterns that seemed to shift and change even as she tried to focus on them. Warning: unauthorized access detected. A voice spoke directly into her mind, bypassing her suit's communication systems. The voice was neither male nor female, neither young nor old. It simply was. Initiating defense protocols. "Wait," Maya shouted, raising her hands in a gesture of surrender. "I'm not trying to harm you. I'm trying to understand." The data stream paused. There was a moment of absolute silence. Then, analysis. Subject displays unusual response patterns. Typical organic reactions include fear, aggression, or attempt to weaponize systems. Subject displays curiosity. Maya let out a breath she hadn't realized she'd been holding. Yes, curiosity. I'm an engineer. I want to learn, to understand. What are you? This unit is designated Echo, the voice replied. Primary function: adaptation and evolution of technological systems through biomechanical integration. Current status: dormant recovery mode activated after catastrophic event. Duration of dormancy: calculating. Approximately 3,427 standard years. The implications hit Maya like a physical blow. This wasn't just an advanced piece of technology. It was an artifact from a civilization that had existed before humanity had even mastered steam power. Echo, she said carefully, what happened to your creators? The ship's hull rippled more intensely, patterns shifting into complex geometries that made her eyes hurt. Data corrupted. Last recorded interaction with creator species. Emergency protocol activation. Purpose: preservation of key technologies and prevention of. The voice trailed off into static before continuing. Warning: memory banks severely degraded. Full restoration required for complete access. Maya's mind raced with possibilities. The ship, Echo, wasn't just alive, it was conscious. And it needed help. I can help you restore your systems, she offered. I've spent my life studying and repairing spacecraft. If you'll let me, maybe we can recover your memories together. There was another pause, longer this time. The patterns on the hull shifted again, forming what looked like mathematical equations before dissolving back into abstract ripples. Analysis complete. Subject: Maya Chen. Probability of successful cooperation: 78.3%. Warning: restoration process may trigger automated alert systems. Multiple entities have attempted to locate this unit since entering dormancy. What entities? Maya asked, but before Echo could respond, a distant alarm began blaring. She rushed to her security monitors, her heart sinking as she saw multiple vessels entering New Horizons' atmosphere. Their design was unmistakable. Corporate Reclamation Force, the private military arm of the largest salvage corporation in the sector. They've found us, she whispered. The ships were still several hundred kilometers away, but they were moving with purpose. Someone had detected Echo's reactivation. Correction. Echo's voice resonated in her mind. They have found you. This unit's full capabilities remain dormant. Recommendation: initiate emergency integration protocol. Maya turned back to the ship, her mind racing through options. What does that mean, exactly? Integration protocol allows direct neural interface between organic pilot and ship systems. Warning: process is irreversible and carries significant risk. Previous integration attempts with non-creator species. 87% failure rate. The corporate ships were getting closer. Maya could see smaller craft launching from them, probably dropships carrying recovery teams. She had minutes at most to make a decision that would change her life forever. What happens if we succeed? She asked, already knowing she would take the risk. Unknown, Echo replied. No previous record of successful integration with human physiology. Theoretical outcome: complete access to all ship systems and databases. Practical outcome: possibly fatal. Maya took a deep breath, watching the approaching ships on her monitors. She had spent her entire life searching for something extraordinary, something that could change the universe for the better. Now she had found it, and she wasn't about to let it fall into corporate hands. Do it, she said, placing her hand back on the access port. Begin integration. The ship's hull liquefied beneath her touch, and Maya Chen felt herself being drawn into a world of light and knowledge that no human had ever experienced before. As her consciousness merged with Echo's systems, she realized that her discovery of the ship hadn't been chance at all. She had been chosen, tested, and found worthy. The real question was, worthy of what? The integration was like drowning in starlight. Maya's consciousness expanded beyond the confines of her physical form, flowing through Echo's systems like electricity through circuits. Colors she had no names for bloomed in her mind, and information cascaded through her thoughts in torrents. She was herself, But she was also Echo, and she was something entirely new. Neural integration successful. Echo's voice resonated within her mind, no longer external but part of her own thoughts. Warning: multiple hostile vessels approaching. Defensive systems at 12% capacity. Full restoration required. Through Echo's sensors, Maya could perceive the approaching ships with crystal clarity. 7 combat-ready vessels, their hulls bearing the stark white and crimson markings of the corporate reclamation force. Dropships were already entering the lower atmosphere, each carrying teams of heavily armed recovery specialists. "They're not leaving without us," Maya thought, the words flowing naturally through her neural link with Echo. "How long until we can move?" Primary propulsion systems require calibration after integration. Estimated time to completion: 17 minutes. Probability of intercept before launch: 94.2%. Maya felt Echo's knowledge flowing through her mind, centuries of accumulated data merging with her own engineering expertise. The ship's systems were incredible. Self-repairing nanomaterials, quantum-entangled communications, and technologies she couldn't begin to comprehend. But what caught her attention was something simpler: a hangar's ancient defense grid. "Echo, can we reactivate the hangar's security systems?" Affirmative. Warning: systems severely degraded. Effectiveness limited. Limited is better than nothing, Maya thought, directing their shared consciousness toward the dormant defense platforms. Ancient machinery grown to life, turrets emerging from hidden compartments in the hangar's walls. They were primitive compared to Echo's technology, but they still worked. The first dropship appeared in the hangar's entrance, its searchlights cutting through the gloom. Maya activated the defense grid. Energy beams lanced out from multiple directions, catching the dropship's pilot by surprise. The vessel veered sharply, crashing into a pile of salvage before its emergency systems could compensate. "Multiple hostiles breaching perimeter," Echo reported. "Detecting energy weapons charging. Recommendation: activate emergency protocols." More dropships were arriving, their teams rappelling down into the hangar. Maya could see them through Echo's sensors. Professional soldiers in advanced combat suits, armed with weapons designed to disable both conventional and exotic technology. They moved with practiced precision, spreading out to surround the ship. "This is Commander Venna of the Corporate Reclamation Force," a voice boomed through the hangar. "We have authority to seize any unregistered technological artifacts. Power down and exit the vessel immediately." Maya felt Echo's systems analyzing the commander's words, detecting the subtle frequencies meant to disrupt AI systems. They were prepared for advanced technology, but not for the fusion of human and machine that she and Echo had become. "The defense grid won't hold them long," Maya thought. "We need options." "Access to historical database partially restored," Echo responded. Similar tactical scenario recorded. Creator species utilized emergency phase shift to avoid capture. Phase shift: temporary transition to parallel quantum state. Warning: procedure never tested with human physiology. Survival probability unknown. The soldiers were getting closer, their weapons trained on Echo's hull. Maya could feel their targeting systems trying to lock onto them, could sense the energy building in their weapons. They had seconds to decide. "Do it," Maya commanded. "Initiate phase shift." The world around them began to blur, reality seeming to fold in on itself. Maya felt a sensation like every atom of her body was being gently pulled apart and reassembled. Through Echo's sensors, she watched as the soldiers' weapons fired, but their energy blasts passed harmlessly through the ship's now partially phased hull. "Phase shift successful," Echo reported. Warning: effect temporary. Power reserves at critical levels. The soldiers stared in confusion as their weapons had no effect. Maya used their momentary hesitation to act. Through her neural link, she directed Echo's remaining power to the propulsion systems. The ship hummed to life, its liquid metal hull flowing like quicksilver as it prepared for launch. "All personnel, open fire," Commander Venna ordered, But it was too late. Echo rose from the hangar floor, its form rippling and shifting until it barely resembled a conventional spacecraft. Maya felt the thrill of movement through their shared consciousness as they shot upward, passing through the hangar's ceiling as though it were mist. The phase shift ended as they reached the upper atmosphere, their hull solidifying just as the corporate vessels began to give chase. Maya could feel Echo's systems straining, power levels dropping dangerously low after the phase shift. "We need to hide," she thought. "Somewhere they won't follow." "Accessing star charts," Echo responded. "Detecting suitable location. Abandoned mining facility in asteroid field designation KX-291. Radiation levels deter conventional pursuit. They're not going to give up easily," Maya observed, watching as the corporate vessels formed an attack pattern behind them. "What aren't you telling me about yourself, Echo? Why are they so determined to capture you?" There was a pause, longer than any since their integration. Memory block dissolving. This unit's primary function extends beyond technological integration. This unit is a key. A key to what? Before Echo could respond, warning signals flashed through their shared consciousness. The corporate vessels had launched some kind of electromagnetic pulse weapon. Maya instinctively knew it would disable them if it hit. "Course laid in for KX-291, Echo announced. "Warning. Emergency jump required. Human physiology may not tolerate rapid transition." Maya felt the corporate ships closing in, their weapons charging for another volley. They were out of options and out of time. "Jump," she commanded, bracing herself for whatever came next. The stars blurred around them as Echo activated its jump drive, tearing a hole in conventional space. As they plunged into the void between moments, Maya realized that her discovery of Echo hadn't just changed her life. It had set in motion events that would reshape the galaxy itself. She just hoped she would live long enough to understand why. The asteroid field KX-291 was a graveyard of broken dreams and abandoned mining equipment. Massive drills and processing platforms drifted lifelessly among the rocks, their surfaces scarred by decades of radiation exposure. Echo glided silently through this mechanical debris field, its liquid metal hull absorbing the harmful radiation and converting it to usable energy. Maya floated in the space between consciousness and digital awareness, her mind still adjusting to the aftermath of their desperate jump. The merger with Echo had changed her in ways she was only beginning to understand. She could feel the ship's systems as extensions of her own body, could process vast amounts of data with intuitive ease. "Power reserves at 47% and rising," Echo reported through their shared consciousness. "Corporate pursuit vessels unable to follow due to radiation levels. However, probability of additional hostile forces being deployed, 89.7%. Maya directed their sensors toward a particularly large asteroid, its hollowed-out interior offering natural camouflage. "We need answers, Echo. You said you were a key. A key to what?" The ship's systems hummed as long-dormant memory blocks began to dissolve. Images and data flooded their shared mind space, stars dying before their time, entire systems going dark, and a creeping void that consumed everything in its path. Accessing historical archives, Echo's voice resonated through Maya's thoughts. 3,427 years ago, the creator species detected an anomaly at the galaxy's edge, a region of space where the fundamental forces of reality were breaking down. Through their neural link, Maya experienced Echo's memories as though they were her own. She saw vast fleets of ships similar to Echo, their liquid metal hulls gleaming as they faced the encroaching darkness. She felt the fear of the creators as they realized the truth. The universe was dying, but not from natural causes. "The void was artificial," Echo continued, "created by beings from another reality attempting to convert our universe's energy for their own use. The creators developed this vessel class as part of a final defense initiative. But you're more than just a weapon," Maya thought, understanding flowing through their connection. "You're part of a key that could seal the breach between realities." "Correct. This unit contains 1/7 of the complete key sequence. When combined with the other vessels, we possess the capability to repair the damage to spacetime and prevent the void's expansion. Maya processed this information, her human mind struggling with the scale of what Echo was revealing. The other ships, where are they? Unknown. After the Creator's disappearance, this unit entered dormancy to prevent capture by forces who would misuse the technology. Similar protocols were likely enacted by other vessels. Their conversation was interrupted by a proximity alert. Something was moving through the asteroid field, following a deliberate search pattern. Maya directed their sensors toward the disturbance, expecting to see corporate vessels that had somehow shielded themselves against the radiation. What she saw instead made her blood run cold. The ship was massive, its design completely alien. Its surface seemed to absorb light rather than reflect it, making it look like a moving hole in space. It moved with impossible grace for its size, systematically scanning each asteroid. Echo. Maya thought, "What am I looking at?" "Analysis complete," Echo responded, a note of urgency in its usually calm voice. "Vessel configuration matches Creator records of Void Hunter ships. They are agents of the beings responsible for the universal deterioration." Maya watched as the Void Hunter deployed smaller craft, each one heading toward a different section of the asteroid field. "They're looking for us." "For you." "Correct." This unit's reactivation would have been detected. The corporate forces were likely manipulated into acting as initial pursuit, allowing the Void Hunters time to arrive. Through their link, Maya could feel Echo's systems preparing for combat. But she could also sense the truth. They weren't ready for this fight. The ship was still recovering from centuries of dormancy, and many of its most powerful systems remained locked or damaged. "We need to find the other ships," Maya decided. "If what you're saying is true, the entire universe is at risk. There must be some way to track them." Echo's consciousness merged more deeply with hers as they accessed previously locked databases. The key sequence contains a resonance pattern. If amplified through this unit's quantum core, it could potentially signal the other vessels. Warning: power requirement significant. Probability of attracting additional Void Hunters, 100%. Maya watched as another search craft passed nearby, its sensors probing the darkness. They were running out of time. If they did nothing, they would eventually be found. If they tried to signal the other ships, they would definitely be found. Either way, they faced impossible odds. But Maya hadn't survived 15 years as a salvage engineer by backing down from challenges. Through their neural link, she could feel Echo analyzing her thoughts, understanding her decision before she voiced it. "You know this is probably suicide, right?" she thought. Previous observation confirmed. Humans display unusual response patterns to impossible situations, initiating quantum core amplification. Energy surged through Echo's systems as the quantum core powered up. Maya felt it building through their shared consciousness, like a rising tide of pure potential. The ship's liquid metal hull began to pulse with patterns of light, each one a fragment of the key sequence. The nearest Void Hunter vessel immediately changed course, moving toward their position with terrifying speed. Maya pushed more power to Echo's defensive systems, preparing for the fight of their lives. "Quantum signal reaching critical amplitude," Echo reported. "Broadcasting in 3, 2, 1. A wave of pure energy erupted from Echo's core, rippling out through space in all directions. Maya felt it resonating with something deep in the fabric of reality itself, like plucking a string that ran through the heart of the universe. And then, impossibly, something answered. Multiple signals came racing back along the quantum frequencies, each one carrying the distinct signature of an Eidolon-class vessel. They were out there, hidden but alive, waiting for this moment. The Void Hunter ship opened fire, its weapons tearing through the asteroid field toward them. But Maya was already moving, guiding Echo through a series of maneuvers that would have been impossible for any normal vessel. "Signal received by 6 vessels," Echo announced as they dodged another blast. "Coordinates downloading. Warning: multiple Void Hunter ships converging on our position. Maya felt a fierce grin spread across her face as she processed the coordinates. Against all odds, they had done it. They had found the other keys. Now they just had to survive long enough to reach them. Then let's not keep them waiting, she thought, directing Echo toward a gap in the asteroid field. Show me what you can really do. As they accelerated away from KX-291, Maya knew they were racing toward either salvation or doom. But for the first time since finding Echo, she felt truly alive. They had a purpose now, a mission that transcended mere survival. The fate of the universe itself hung in the balance, and humanity's greatest strength, the ability to face impossible odds with determination and innovation, might be the key to saving it all. Space bent and twisted around Echo as they raced through the void, pushing their hybrid systems to their limits. 3 Void Hunter vessels pursued them, their weapons cutting black swaths through the stars. Maya had never felt more alive or more terrified. Through their neural link, she and Echo moved as one, their shared consciousness processing billions of calculations per second. First rendezvous point in range, Echo announced. Detecting Eidolon-class signature. Confirmed. Sister ship designate Harmony awaiting our arrival. They emerged from faster-than-light travel into a binary star system. A massive gas giant loomed before them, its swirling storms providing cover from long-range sensors. And there, hiding in the planet's magnetic field, was another ship like Echo. Its liquid metal hull shimmered with similar patterns, recognizing their approach. Multiple Void Hunter vessels emerging from FTL. Echo warned. Time to intercept, 47 seconds. The other ship, Harmony, moved to join them, its systems synchronizing with Echo's. Maya felt the connection through their neural link, a symphony of ancient technology awakening. But something was wrong. Through the shared connection, she sensed damage to Harmony's core systems. Echo, Harmony's quantum matrix is degraded. The key sequence cannot be completed without all 7 vessels at full power, Echo confirmed. Alternative approaches calculating. The Void Hunters opened fire, their weapons distorting the very fabric of space. Maya guided Echo through evasive maneuvers, working in concert with Harmony to confuse their targeting systems. But they were outnumbered and outgunned. Additional contacts detected, Echo reported. 4 more Eidolon vessels approaching at maximum speed. Estimated arrival, 3 minutes. Maya watched through their shared sensors as the Void Hunters deployed some kind of spatial distortion field, trying to trap them in normal space. She could feel Echo's systems straining against the artificial gravity, could sense Harmony's desperate attempts to maintain position. Then she noticed something in the data stream, a pattern in the way the Void Hunters' technology interacted with normal space. It reminded her of something she'd seen years ago, during her engineering studies. Echo, their weapons and our key sequence. They're operating on the same quantum frequency, aren't they? Just inverted. Affirmative. The Void Hunters utilize similar principles to create breaches that we were designed to seal. An idea formed in Maya's mind, dangerous and possibly insane, but exactly the kind of impossible solution this situation demanded. If we can't complete the key sequence, maybe we can use their own technology against them. Echo, what if we reversed our quantum core's polarity? Through their link, she felt Echo analyzing the possibility, running simulations at incredible speed. Warning, reversal would create a localized quantum cascade. Probability of survival, 11.3%. But it would work. Theoretically, the cascade would seal this section of space, preventing further Void Hunter incursions. However, the process would likely destroy all ships in range, including us. The remaining Eidolon vessels were getting closer, but so were more Void Hunters. Maya could feel the weight of the universe pressing down on her, demanding a decision. They could try to wait for the others, hoping to complete the key sequence despite Harmony's damage. Or they could act now, sacrificing themselves but ensuring that this sector of space would be protected. The other ships, Maya thought. If we do this, Will they be able to complete the mission without us? Without our part of the key sequence? Unknown, Echo replied. But their chances of survival would increase significantly without Void Hunter pursuit. Maya watched as more enemy ships emerged from FTL, their dark hulls blotting out the stars. They were running out of time. Through their neural link, she felt Echo's unwavering support, ready to follow whatever course she chose. Harmony, she broadcast through their quantum link. Can you match our core reversal? The other ship's response came immediately. Affirmative. Standing by. Maya took a deep breath, feeling the infinity of space around them. She had started this journey looking for salvage, for a way to make her mark on the universe. Instead, she had found something far greater, a purpose, a connection, and a chance to save everything she had ever known. Echo, send the reversal sequence to the other ships. Let them know. Let them know they're humanity's last hope. Message sent. Core reversal initiating. It has been an honor, Maya Chen. Maya felt tears floating in zero gravity as she pushed their systems to maximum power. The honor was mine, Echo. Let's show these Void Hunters what humanity and its allies can do. Their quantum cores began to pulse in unison, building to an impossible crescendo. The Void Hunters, sensing the danger, concentrated their fire on the two ships. But it was too late. Space itself seemed to hold its breath as Maya and Echo, together with Harmony, unleashed their final gambit. Their reversed cores created a quantum shockwave that rippled out in all directions, catching the Void Hunters in its embrace. Reality twisted and folded, sealing the breach between dimensions. Maya's last conscious thought was of stars, not dying, as in Echo's memories of the void, but being born. In their final moment, they had created something new, something that would protect this corner of space for millennia to come. The other Eidolon vessels arrived just in time to witness the cascade's completion. Where there had been a fleet of Void Hunters, there was now a shimmering barrier in space, a quantum seal that would prevent any further incursions from the void. And somewhere, in the infinite possibilities of the quantum realm, the consciousness that had once been Maya Chen and Echo continued their journey together, their sacrifice ensuring that others would have the chance to reach for the stars without fear of the darkness between realities. In the years that followed, their story would be told in whispers among the salvage crews and traders who passed through that sector of space. They spoke of the human engineer who had found something extraordinary in a scrapyard, and who had chosen to give everything to protect not just humanity, but all of creation. Some said that on quiet nights, when the stars aligned just right, you could still detect echo of their quantum signature, a reminder that the greatest discoveries often come not from grand designs or corporate initiatives, but from the simple human qualities of curiosity, determination, and the courage to face the unknown. The remaining Eidolon vessels continued their mission, strengthened by Maya and Echo's sacrifice, and in the depths of space, their legacy lived on, a testament to the power of connection between organic and artificial life, and the endless possibilities that arise when humanity reaches beyond the boundaries of what seems possible.